What's up, guys? This is Zach with Top Deck Nation, and today we're going to be kicking off our brand new deck profile segment featuring the Sun and Moon base set. So there are a lot of great GXs coming out in this set. I'm really excited. They're really just kind of showcasing this new mechanic that is going to be ultimately replacing the EXs, which, you know, they're basically the same thing, but they've just kind of renamed them, and there's a few evolutions and things like that. But, you know, really the main difference between them is going to be that GX attack, where you can only use it once per game, but they're like insanely good. And we're going to be looking at Decidueye GX today. Now, this is probably my favorite GX of the set because it's really similar to Greninja. You know, I've had a little bit of success with Greninja at some tournaments and things like that. And I really just love the playstyle of the deck. I love, using those evolution cards because they're so overlooked and not really played. I love spreading the damage counters and just setting up a lot of knockouts. So it's really fun to play. And this deck is no different. You know, I built it recently. I've been playing it and I really love it. So we're going to be going through that today. So if you don't know what Decidueye GX does, it has this ability that says you can basically put 20 damage somewhere every turn. So 2 damage counters basically. And this does stack. So if you have a bunch of these out, you can just put 20 here, 20 there. And it's just really good because you're setting up knockouts. You can slowly but surely snipe things on the bench, like, maybe there's a Trubbish that's going to be a Garbodor soon, or a Shaman or something. So really good. And, I kind of struggled at first trying to make the right build. I didn't really know what would actually go with Decidueye. I mean, do you just kind of attack with Decidueye and hope they don't hammer you or Team Flare Grunt you or something? But the fact that it plays DCE means that, you can squeeze in some kind of attacker that can, basically utilize that DCE. And so there are a couple attackers, there's Lugia EX, which is pretty good with that arrow ball attack and everything, but I really like Tauros GX. I think it has a lot of potential in this deck, so I'm gonna go ahead and go over it here. So like I said, Decidueye, it's got that ability, and then its other attacks, I think one is for a grass and a DCE. It does 90, so pretty clean. It can two-shot using the ability, and then the GX attack is really good late game. For a single grass energy, put any 3 cards into your hand, and that's really good late game because if they end you to 1, you have a dead hand. Well, I can just use his attack, get back a DCE, a Lysander, and something else, and then I can go ahead and get game. I can bring up Shaman, and there you go. So really good. But Tauros is actually going to be the main attacker here, and I really like Tauros so far in testing it. So the main attack we're going to be using, it's just a DCE. It does 60 damage, and it's a really clean attack, but it goes well with Decidueye. And basically what you can do is just put 20 damage here, 20 damage there, whatever, and Tauros can just kind of clean up. And so with Decidueye's ability, that 60 damage can suddenly become, 100, 120, 140 for a single DCE, and that's really good, especially early game, to put that pressure on your opponent. It also has another attack that does 20 damage plus 10 more for each damage counter you have on Tauros. So it's kind of punishing your opponent for, attacking it. And since we play Bursting Balloon, that can really set up some cheap knockouts there as well. And then finally we have its GX attack, which is probably one of the best GX attacks I've seen so far. It does 30 damage times the number of damage counters on Tauros. So a lot of these big heavy hitting EXs like Yveltal with a Fighting Fury belt, they've got 210 damage. So 30 times 7 damage counters is going to be 210 damage. So essentially, if Yveltal decides to use Evil Ball on you or something, or you just somehow get 70 damage on Tauros, you can go ahead and one shot the Yveltal and get a really early lead, and that's really really a great GX attack in my opinion. We're also playing 2 Shaman just for that awesome setup ability, so we can hopefully burn through the deck and get our Decidueyes out really quickly. And then lastly, we play Beedrill just for the Garbodor matchup. This is kind of optional. It really just depends on your metagame, what's being played at your tournament, but oftentimes you can just sit there with Beedrill, knock off some tools, and then once you're ready, bring up Tauros and finish the job. Or you can just knock off tools and use Decidueye to kind of put 60 on those Trubbishes until they're gone. So really useful card overall. As far as our stadium goes, of course, we're going to be playing 4 Force of Giant Plants. We want to get that out turn 1. We want to get those Decidueyes out. We want to spread damage as early as the first turn. Even when we can't attack, we can still put like 40 damage, 60 damage on the board and hopefully get set up for the next turn. As far as our supporters go, we're going to be playing 4 Sycamore, 3 N, and 2 Lysander. Now, the reasoning behind it is that, you don't really need a whole lot in the deck. Pokemon Ranger isn't really necessary. If you're afraid of Giratina, you are playing basic energy, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And then things like Hex Maniac and Team Flare Grunt, I think they're just kind of techie. You can definitely test it out, but in general, I think this is pretty ideal right here. I would like to see a 4th N because I think consistency is really key with this deck. I don't want to have to discard my, Rowlets and Decidueyes and stuff like that if I don't have to. But in general, I think 3 still works. It's pretty consistent for the most part. As far as our energy goes, we're going to be playing 4 Grass and 4 DCE. Like I said, you can just kind of attach DCE to Tauros, attack, and you're good to go. If you're already pretty much set up, you can just start attaching Grass to Decidueye, spread it across, make sure you've got multiple ready to go. But, in general, you don't really want to have to put down the Grass energy. It's not really necessary. It's just kind of like, kind of a safety net just in case they're knocking your energies off. As far as our items go, we're going to be playing 4 Ultra Ball, of course, just to get everything we need out. 4 Verse Seeker to reuse our supporters, of course. 3 Trainer's Mail because it's really good here. We play a lot of balls here, like Timer Ball, Level Ball, etc. We play a lot of Forest Giant Plants, just in general, a lot of trainers. 3 Floatstone is good just because you play a lot of things with a high retreat cost. Tauros has a 3 retreat cost, I think, and then Decidueye has 2. So, you don't want to get to the point where they've kind of depleted you out of resources and they Lysander up a Tauros and just kind of win that way. So 3 Floatstone, of course. And then I love how we're playing so many, Pokeball cards here. We're playing Ultra Ball, we're playing Level Ball. 2 Level Balls are really good because it gets out Rowlet, gets out Dartrix, and then 2 Timer Balls. If you don't know what it does, basically you flip 2 coins, and for each heads, you get to search your deck for any evolution card, and that's ridiculous. If you remember like the Heart Gold Soul Silver format when Dual Ball was legal, that was pretty much in every deck. CMT, the deck that played like Celebi and Mewtwo EX and stuff, Dual Ball was just, a key card because you could definitely just kind of sweep your opponent if you flip some heads. And this is no different. If you flip 2 heads, you've got Rowlet out. There you go. You've got Decidueye out. Even if you flip 1, that's fine. It's kind of like a better Evo Soda. So in general, I think it's a really strong card in the deck. We're going to be playing 2 Bursting Balloon here, and really I think Bursting Balloon is one of the MVPs of the deck besides the GX attacks because it's really going to force your opponent into these weird situations where they can either hit you and take 60 and then you'll be in range of a knockout, or they just have to sit there and pass and then you get another turn to just kind of attack them for free. So I really love Bursting Balloon. The math just works so nicely with Decidueye. I mean, it's just a really good card overall. And then finally we're going to be playing Revitalizer and Super Rod, and both of these are just kind of to recover your Pokemon. You're probably going to be discarding some evolution cards throughout the game, or they might choose to knock out your Decidueye, so Revitalizer is a good way to get that back. And then Super Rod, of course, is just good in general. It gets back any of our Pokemon, our energy, so it's going to help us not deck out, etc. So, and that's pretty much it, guys. Overall, the deck is really fast, really consistent. I like how it's just so simple to get set up. You just get your Decidueyes out, you attach the Tauros, and you're pretty much good to go the first turn. So let me know in the comments how you feel about this deck, if there's any changes you would make, and if there's any GX Pokemon you'd like me to do deck profiles for, such as Lapras or Incineroar or whatever. I mean, it's a really good set, really interesting set. I'm sure that people are going to figure out better ways to play these decks, but yeah, have fun with it, and that should be it. So in the meantime, this has been Zach with Top Deck Nation, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.